Grapsody with Will, Phil, and Reg, trying to keep it real instead of what you usually get from these talking heads. It's Grapsody, we're here to fill the void. 3 black fans, different perspective, gotta fill your voice. Coming with the podcast, talking majors, indies in between. Yeah, it's all that, and we're down with Fightful, better fall back. Coming for respect, we connect like a ball bat. No need to double check, these are all facts. You're listening to us talk raps. You're listening to us talk raps. Will, Phil, and Reg. Yeah, we're Grapsody, here to talk raps. Yeah, we're Grapsody, here to talk raps.
Yo, it is I, your favorite low talker. First thing in the morning. Looks like Reg is on locale somewhere. But nevertheless, this is Grapsody. I'm Phil Lindsay. And of course, I'm joined by the one and only Righteous Reginald.
In the building, it's your favorite rapper, your favorite writer, your favorite podcaster. It's Saturday morning. I'm on location. It's Chinese New Year's. It's about to probably be loud where I'm at. But I'm Righteous Reg, Double R, Media Man. I'm here. I'm ready. It's Saturday morning. It's Grapsody Podcast. What's up with you, Phil Lindsay? It's been kind of a wild week. That's like every week at this point, right?
Yeah, a lot going on in the world. Let me find out you're in San Jose. I'm going to laugh very hard. Not in San Jose for wrestling. There for something else. That'd be really funny.
I'm not in San Jose. I'm in San Francisco.
I was about to say, somehow found your way to San Jose this weekend, huh?
Not this weekend, brother. I'm staying put where I am, not converting, not crossing over, not doing anything. But yeah, it's been all kind of news, all kind of things going on. What a busy time. What a busy life. I guess we should start out with condolences to the family of Irv Gotti. Feels like, we come on here very often and send condolences out to hip-hop people and hip-hop pioneers. Irv Gotti represents something way different, man. Like, there was a time when, like, hip-hop was, like, represented by, like, the moguls, by, like, the heads, by, like, the guys. It was, like, Dame Dash, and it was, like, Irv Gotti. He was dominating the game, the rap charts. Every time you would turn on the radio, you were hearing something produced by Irv Gotti. Ja Rule, most famously, has a life and a career because of the things that Irv Gotti did. And, he created Murder, Inc., had a big, crazy run, Ashanti, all these things, and then parlayed that into movies and TV and this other things, and became like most moguls you would think would do. And so when I heard about this news suddenly the other day, I was just still kind of shocked about it, Phil.
Yeah, very sudden. I know that the news the day before was that he went into the hospital because he had a stroke. And I just thought he was going to pull through. I thought he was just going to, maybe have like a tough hospital stay and he'd be all right. But yeah, he passed away. I believe 54 years old, correct?
Yep.
And yeah, 54 is way too young, man. We were just clowning him for the Drink Champs interview, and he was just with us. Like you said, he's one of those moguls from that era, one of the big three with Russell, of course, Dame Dash, and Irv. Like, It's just wild. It's wild to think about so many people from that time period are passing away, and it just doesn't seem like it should be that way. But also, we're old, so that's just what it is.
It's like hip hop is aging, and we just talk about hip hop 50 and all these things, but then at the same time, hip hop is aging, and what comes with age is death and things like that, and new life and all these things. So it's crazy, man. It's hard. So yeah, love out to Irv and his family. Hard times right now.
Yeah, that was tough. 50 Cent is, of course, 50 Cent has been doing what you would expect him to do. And I was just like, you could not do that. That's fine. Now, of course, he probably
he don't care, though.
he probably didn't know that he was going to pass away the next day. But yeah, timing of that was terrible. He's also been in the news for the stuff with Big Meech and Lil Meech and all of that looks away as well. He probably could chill out. That's cool.
He's at a space where he doesn't have to do any of this. Like, he made it to the place where he could be out of all this messy shit, but he is continuously in the messy stuff, the Irv with him and the gravestone, the tombstone, and smoking on the Gotti pack. LOL. I'm like
You
50.
ain't got to do
That
that.
is. I didn't
That's a
think
guy that got kids and got family and loved ones. You ain't got to do that. That's
when those people are going to see their condolences and things online, and that's the first thing that pops up. Probably not really the time. The time, you
yeah.
know.
You didn't need to do that. Also, uh, big surprise to me. Virginia McCaskey passed away. Of course, part of the family that owns the Chicago Bears.
Oh,
I just saw before I logged in to get on here that Dick Duran also passed away, former Bears coach. Yeah, a lot going on. So yeah, rest in peace to them. Condolences to the McCaskey family, and of course, condolences to Dick Duran's family as well. And some less somber news.
hmm
Uh, K. Dot hit the streets ahead of Super Bowl weekend.
he's talking.
Swept the Grammys. First of its kind. A diss track to sweep the Grammys. Crazy times.
Phil, as a hip hop connoisseurs, you and I, we talk and we listen and we've heard for our entire lives these things. We've been through the biggest diss tracks and diss records of all time, but we've never, ever, ever seen anything like this. Winning 5 Grammys for a diss song is so forbidden.
Insane. Winning the Grammys and then everything that came with it. Taylor Swift cheerleading this guy, toasting him while he's winning the last one for Record of the Year, and like in the background dancing to this song. The entire crowd yelling A minor to the song while it's playing as he walks up to the stage to accept the award. Wild.
Oh my God.
Absolutely wild.
Beyonce's dancing. Like Drake is continuously creating his little hit list of people he's mad at for dancing in videos and being in spaces
Bro.
and thinks that they're preying on his downfall. He got to big list after this Grammy thing.
Bro. Room full of your peers going up like this to this song about you being a PDF.
Mm,
Crazy. That was
and it's the spectrum of music. Like there's your peers as the musicians, and then there's the peers as the executives, and they're all saying the worst line of the song about you.
yeah. There's that clip that's going around of Lucian high-fiving Dr. Dre. I'm just like, this looks insane, bro. Like, what is going on? Yeah. And we got the Dr. Yeah. We got the Dr. I think we got that Dr. Dre quote this weekend, no, I'm sorry, it was last week. Where him talking about, once he talked about Kendrick's family, then the gloves were off.
That was it.
Which,
Yeah, I mean, Dr. Dre, if anybody would know, he's pretty close to the situation.
yeah, all of this was crazy. What this has done for Mustard. Mustard has the Heinz Mustard commercial now. Mustard was already a top level producer, but what this has done for him is just, it's hard to describe. Like, this guy's getting commercials, like they're doing like billboards and stuff with the big Mustard in Texas. He had the McDonald's commercial and stuff, like, it wasn't really a commercial, but the ad and stuff off of it is just like, I wouldn't have predicted any of this.
Yeah, it's funny because like Mustard was already legendary producer status, I think, with what he had done in the game. Like he was one of those guys that people look to, making big records, big, huge #1 records. But this is way different. Hip hop crosses over often, but crossing over into like the must that everybody on the planet uses. It like unbelievable. Well deserved. Like the best part about it is like he didn't even know that this was going to be a thing. He's just like Kendrick had to get the beat to a couple people, and then it was just like, oh yeah, this is a song.
Yeah, I got a little bit of that, but it was very laggy for a second. You still with us? I think Reg froze.
I think so. Am I?
Okay, I think he's still nope, he's froze. Yeah, I mean everything about this award season is wild. The Kendrick stuff, I expected him to win most of the awards he was up for because just how big this song got. Um, but yeah, just seeing him on that stage, getting the flowers in this way, um, just not just the internet going up for him, but like celebrities, his peers going up for it. Just crazy to watch. Also, shout out to Doechii, well deserved for best rap album. She was my pick to win, so good for her. I think she's one of the best up and coming artists coming into this. Really cool to see a woman pick up this award. I was surprised to see that stat that she's only the third woman to win best rap album, but yeah, shout out to her. Shout out to Beyonce as well. Finally getting album of the year. Well deserved. Long overdue. Should have gotten this a long time ago. I did not expect her to win it for Cowboy Carter, but long overdue. That reaction of her doing the and then getting up out of her seat to accept the award is gonna, of course, become a meme. Very funny stuff. Yeah, I'm assuming Reg will be back soon, but yeah, all of the Grammy stuff has been wild to see. And then, we still got more Kendrick stuff this weekend. The Super Bowl is going to be nuts. That report that he could potentially do Not Like Us. And I mean, the fact that Not Like Us rang off like that at the Grammys, there's a good chance now that we're probably going to get a good amount of that song played at the Super Bowl. I'm very curious to see how much of the song he plays and what the set list looks like. As always, you guys can send us your super chats. That is the best way to get your chats read on the show. You also can send us a Humper Chats, humperchats.com/Fightful. Got a few of them. Trying to wait for my partner in crime to come back so we can get into those. But yeah, other than the music side, we did have like some other pretty big things happening sports wise. Basketball trade deadline was absolutely insane this year. And there's some of that, of course, I want to get into with Reg because his team was in the midst of this. The Bulls finally managed to find somebody to take Levine off their hands. We've been trying to move Levine for about a year now. So Levine has a new home. He is a Sacramento King now with DeRozan. Glad that they could finally pull it off because it seemed like this was a situation where he didn't really mesh well still with what the team wanted to be at this point. And if they're going to commit to a rebuild, it was time. It was time to move on from Levine. Wish him the best out there in Sacktown. That's a very weird team. Losing your best player in De'Aaron Fox and then basically recreating the duo from Chicago there with Sabonis. I'm not sure how that's going to work, but we'll see. Sacramento also having a team with De'Aaron Fox at one point and Tyrese Halliburton. And now both of those guys are no longer on your team. Crazy times.
I don't know what happened. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Let's move you back. Bam, we're set. But yeah, I started to get into some of the trade deadline talk. But before that, I was saying shout out to Doechii for winning Best Rap Album. Well deserved on her part. Also, shout out to Beyonce for winning Album of the Year. Long overdue.
Oh yeah, them people were mad at Beyonce for crossing over into their genre and winning the award like she should. I didn't really understand what was going on there. Well deserved. Doechii, she just feels like she came out of nowhere. I mean, when you're an artist like that, you've been working for years and you've been doing a lot to get to your positions. But she just came out with an explosive, great album and a well-deserved Grammy win. Shout out to her.
Yeah, great album. She's making great music. Also a great performer. I didn't watch all of the Grammys live, but Great stuff. Yeah, the trade deadline stuff was absolutely insane. I was sitting here last week recording the Royal Rumble post show with Iridian. Shout out to Iridian. I think we've settled on CWA as
CWA, huh?
Chicago Wrestling Authority. It's a playoff of the Chicago Transit Authority. But I don't know if that's a fixture, but
Okay.
man, shout out to Iridian. But during that post show, everybody was in the chat going, Phil, did you see this trade? And I'm like, what trade? So I looked down at my phone. Luka Doncic is a Los Angeles Laker. I don't know where the hell this came from. Very odd trade. I didn't know where they're trying to tell me that Luka Doncic is overweight and they were concerned about his health and concerned about him staying in shape. You know, I don't know, less than a year after he just took this team to the finals? Like, what? Oh, boy. I think he throws again. Hold on. We're going to get this thing together for you guys. Hold on. I'm seeing in our chat that there are some more releases. We're going to get into the releases soon. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Let's see. That's like 3 more to add to our list. Unfortunate, of course. Never the funnest times to get on here and talk about someone losing their job, but we'll discuss the releases in a little bit. But yeah, the trade deadline stuff was pretty crazy. The Jimmy Butler saga is at an end now. Jimmy Butler has found a new home in Golden State. I did not expect that to end up working out for him, especially after we got that report that he didn't want to sign an extension with Golden State. But, you know, $60 million is a lot of money. So that's a big contract. Miami definitely wasn't going to give him that much money. So good for him. Hopefully it works out for him. I would like to see him make a run at another championship. I love to see Steph make it another run at a championship. So hopefully they can pull it out. Everything about Miami at the moment, very strange. Everything about this situation was bizarre. So glad it's finally over with. Glad he finally found somewhere else. And Miami can move on. He can move on with his career. Big shout out to Andrew Wiggins, who helped Golden State win a championship. Wish they could have figured that situation out, but hopefully that works out for him as well. Still trying to get a Righteous Reg right on this stream, but we will get there. Bear with us, guys. Just sent me a text, which is not a great sign. But yeah, might as well, since I'm sitting here, get into some of our super chats. Got one from Denise Salcedo. She says, have a great show, guys. We're trying, Denise. Appreciate you. Got one from Van Twin Blade. He says, y'all ready for Not Like Us in 27 hours? Yeah, this should be very much excited for this Super Bowl halftime show. Hopefully he smokes this, but it's Kendrick, so I know he's gonna knock this out the park. Let's see, we got one from, I believe that is 13 in Roman numerals. He says, new Street Profits promo is giving me hope. Yeah, I think with the direction they're going in is cool. I wasn't the biggest fan of how they brought them back in at Royal Rumble. We'll get into that with Royal Rumble talk, but I thought the promo that they aired last night was really good. See, we got one from Meet Enormous. He says, the NBA trade deadline was crazy. My Wizards got Middleton to help get us a lot. Help us get a lotto. Well, with Luka needs to go get off of his Shaq cardio plan. Jimmy needs therapy. Yeah, the Middleton thing is very interesting. Unfortunately, Middleton could not stay healthy with the Bucks. I understand why they moved on from him because it's been a minute since they won that championship, and he's been inconsistent, and not necessarily because he's not showing effort, just injuries have plagued him since that championship run. So I understand moving on from him. That could end up being a good piece for Wizards. Who knows? I mean, you guys are ways away, but could be something to build off of at least. I don't know. Got another one from Van Twinblade. He says, "Hey Drake, to quote Radiohead, you do it to yourself." Appreciate you. Got one from Leron Ford. He says, Kendrick winning 5 Grammys is great, but him winning 2 of the big 4 Grammys for Record of the Year and Song of the Year is huge. Congrats to him. Yeah, that is massive. To win both of those with a diss track is, again, unheard of. What a historic time for him. And he put the album out, and I mean, he could still end up getting some Grammy nods next year off of the album. Who knows? But the fact that he got this many Grammys off of just one song is just nuts. Another one from Leron 40 says, those folks at the CMAs are down bad after Beyonce won Country Album of the Year and Album of the Year. Man, yeah, salute to Beyonce, man. Well deserved. And another I felt old moment last weekend, watching her out there with her family, Blue Ivy, just keep getting taller and taller. I'm just like, what is happening here? She had a teenage kid at this point. Wild. Hove has a teenager. I mean, he has 3 kids, but the fact that Hove has a teenage girl is wild. From Steve OJ, he says, the Credit Boys were on one to start Black History Month. Reg's WWE rant on Wednesday was funny. Was fun. I did not see this, so he's gonna have to fill me in on that when he gets back in here. So Denise broke Twitter with the Tony Storm pick. Lastly, Jimmy is finally gone. Play my theme music. AEW Dynamite opening. Yeah, Tony, I would say, to be more specific, broke the internet. I saw a lot of people. I saw a lot of people being very thirsty. Relax. Got one from Margie Love. She says, "Hey Phil, the Dochi performance have lived in my head all week. Best performance of the night, in my opinion." Yeah, that was really dope to see her on that stage. It's really dope to see how many people have been going up for Dochi. All of the cosigns she's been getting. Really cool to see. See from Ethan Anthony Rivers. He says, laughing my fucking ass off at the NFL, catching feelings over that NBA stealing their spotlight. Yeah, I mean, that's just what it is. I mean, all of those people that were talking about the NBA ratings at one point, yeah, some of that talk has died down. I mean, especially with how crazy this trade deadlines has been, and just everything that's come out of this. It's been a lot of great buzz for the NBA going into All-Star Weekend. Hopefully that keeps up. Hopefully this leads to a good playoffs here, because the playoffs last year were a lot of fun. So just looking at all of the shakeups in the West, I think this could be a really, really fun run in the playoffs for a few teams. Okay, all of our super chats. Again, if you want to send us your super chats, that is the best way to get your chats read on the show. We got a bunch of Humper chats as well. Let's see where this guy is. I sent him a text. In the meantime, let me get you guys' Humper chats in front of me. Here. Okay, we got one from Tony P. He said, Kendrick just opened his mouth. Somebody gonna hand him a Grammy right now. Age Did not age very well, Drake. Well, now he says that line will go down as the most famous last word before disaster after drop, 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 drop. He says he gave this ninja 5 of them. But you two know who gets petty of the week. The Max social team. Oh, I forgot about that, Tony. I completely forgot about that. For context, if you have not seen this, Tony P is talking about a clip that whoever runs the Max social team put up of Drake explaining how, it's not that deep. It's just entertainment. And clearly that has not aged very well for Drake. Seeing Max dunk on Drake, and Max, of course, has his show that he produced on it in Euphoria, and they're now getting their dunks off too. Excuse me. Talking about down bad. There's down bad, and there's where Drake is. I don't know how he recovers from this. I've been saying for the longest, I think he should take some time away, just get low, and then come back. But I don't know, man. He's now trying to talk about dropping his joint album soon. I don't know, man. I don't know how he recovers from this, but we'll see. Still trying to get Reg back with us. In the meantime, I will get back into some more of you guys' Humper chats. So Tony P also says, as for the trades, Reg enjoyed Jimmy. You're going to see some fun games. I feel like Miami didn't make out that bad either. Phoenix, on the other hand, they're about to have their own issues with KD soon. Stuck in wrestling brain. I'm thinking KO. KD soon. By the way, Bulls need to fire that GM after that trade. Yeah, I didn't expect it to be a great trade because at this point it seemed like they just wanted to part ways with him. So it is what it is. Lonzo also got a contract. Good for Lonzo. I mean, he came back after not playing basketball for almost 4 years. Catastrophic injury for him, and he's been playing really good. I think he's played a lot better than people expected with, the amount of time that he's missed and the severity of this injury, the kind of the mystery around it. And so good for him. I think that's dope. But yeah, I wasn't expecting much out of this trade deadline. I wasn't expecting us to make no big splash. And once I saw we made a move with Levine, it kind of felt like let's just pass him off and move on. And that's basically what this is. But I agree with you. I think that Miami is doing fine. I think that this is going to end up being a decent trade for them. I think Wiggins is a decent pickup for you guys. They got some decent draft picks, so not a bad trade for Miami at all. I think they came out of this a lot better than I would have expected. This could have ended up being terrible for them, but good for them. I think it worked out in the end. I think it worked out for both parties in the end. From Kim Gray, he says, for Grapsody, I was at SmackDown last night. I was exhausted from yeeting and singing Kingdom. All Jay had to do was breathe, and Memphis went wild. I was by the stairs. He entered the show. So much fun. Yeah, those crowds for these Jay entrances have been incredible. They love this guy. They have a blast when he comes out there, and you can just really feel that energy watching even at home. So good to see you had a good time, Kim. Man, seeing a show right after Royal Rumble, I've never been to like any shows the week right after Royal Rumble, and that energy, it just seems like it's unmatched. It kind of feels like going to a Raw or SmackDown right after WrestleMania because you got so many stories that are about to start, and then you also have just like all this buzz around what's next. And man, I can't say enough about like what this has done for Jay. I think he deserves it. We'll get into some of the conversation around Jay and how it's divided some fans online, but he deserves it, man. No matter what you feel about him winning, he deserves it. That moment of him being out there with his son, that was really, really cool. And yeah, can't be mad at that. Can't be mad at people having fun at the shows and him getting a well-deserved moment. See, from Van Twin Blade, he says 3 things. 1, Kevin Owens will always be vindicated. 2, Ricochet versus Swerve was great. And Renee having to mom Harley to stop from her flipping off Mercedes was the moment of the night. 3, JB Pritzker's video on Insta trolling Trump is a must watch. Yeah, I did see that when you put it in the Discord the other day. Very funny stuff. Pritzker, I have my issues with Pritzker sometimes, but seems like a likable guy for the most part. I thought that video was very funny. Let's see. We got another one from Tony P. Says, also, we have to say rest in peace to Irv. You can make jokes for days about him, and rightfully so, but he had a hand in shaping hip-hop at the turn of the century. Over the years, it's been really alarming to see a lot of 90s, 2000s hip-hop legends dying young. Yeah, definitely. We talked about that a little bit to open the show. Just how unfortunate it is that some of our hip-hop legends haven't really made it out of their 50s. So like I said, 54 is just way too young. But what an impact he had on hip-hop, even if you don't want to get into that. The impact he's had on pop culture, just unmatched. What a career. Again, rest in peace to Irv Gotti. Another one from Tony P says, seeing this release last night sucked. Especially said because he signed with he just signed a new contract, was getting used to NXT. B could have stayed on NXT. It seems like they set her and Dijak up for failure on the main roster. Sonya could have been something. Yeah, some of the releases, I hate to say they don't feel that shocking, but just with some of the trajectory for some of them, it's not that surprising to me. Again, it's very awkward to talk about anybody losing their job, but just the situation with some of these wrestlers, which again we'll get into, it's unfortunate because again you don't want to see anybody lose their job, but at this time of year, especially starting the year, heading into WrestleMania season, the cuts are coming. They sometimes come right before WrestleMania season or right after WrestleMania, so you kind of know, like, by the time we get to around April, there's going to be releases. So should be expected at this point. Still with TKO, we still don't know. Like, this merger is still fresh. It's barely a year old, so I assume some of that is part of this with the usual cost cutting. So yeah, hopefully all of these people land on their feet. Like I said, we'll get into the releases in depth in a few. Trying to wait for Reg to rejoin. Let's see, we got some more Humper chats. Here, I'm gonna put a pause and come back to you on some of these, Tony P. We got one from D-Lo Diggs. He said, man, this is a wild week. Still distraught for young GOAT Luca being traded. Jameis Winston being an absolute legend as an analyst. These releases sadly keep coming. But tomorrow, I can see K-Dot go in. One love to everyone. And his Ricochet voice. Aha! Sorry, that sounded horrible. I can't get my voice to go as high as Ricochet does it. Yeah, I still can't wrap my head around this Luca thing. It seems like there's something to this. Like, for Dallas to all of a sudden trade their franchise player. This guy is 25 years old, just took them to the finals, and all of a sudden, their owner makes a call to the Lakers to offer him, and he didn't offer him to anybody else, just the Lakers. That's very weird. The timing of it and how, they insisted, oh, well, LeBron didn't know anything about it, even though LeBron had a big hand in getting AD to the Lakers. Everything around LeBron this year of, them bringing in his son, drafting his son, and then hiring a coach that he wanted. You then want me to believe that he didn't know anything about them trading the second best player on the team, a guy that he actively recruited to come there. That's kind of hard to believe. And just the way it went down, just like I said, all of a sudden these reports are coming out about they're not sure if Luka is, player worth investing in because they didn't know if he'd stay in shape. Like, what are we talking about? This is a 25-year-old man. He had all the potential in the world. Just took you guys to an NBA Finals. All of that just sounds really bizarre. I don't know what to make of any of that. And it wasn't a good trade for Dallas at all. They basically traded their best player and got some scraps back for it. Very, very weird trade. It kind of reminds me of the Paul Gasol trade from a few years ago where they got Paul Gasol out of this and then they traded the Grizzlies back basically a lunch pail. So I don't know what this is, but man, I hope it works out for Luka because I like Luka a lot as a player. But yeah, everything around this is very bizarre. Davis getting traded and he wasn't on the road either. He didn't travel with the team to New York. It just all seems very fishy. I don't know what to make of it, but all of this insistence. Oh, well, LeBron didn't know anything about it, and this was a thing that was kept very close to the vest with the owner. And then when you find out like their owner is good friends with Rob Pelinka as well, too, like, yeah, very strange. I don't know. Very, very strange stuff. D'Lo Diggs also says, and no, the real issue with the Luka trade is that bum-ass Nico Harrison didn't want to pay Luka the max, and Nico Harrison, says, and fire Nico Harrison. It's sad because low-key, I'm planning a trip to Dallas for the Dallas Lakers game. Yeah, well, you're going to get to see Luka. You're not going to see him on the side you want to see him on. But, yeah, I don't know. It just, very fishy. I knew this was going to happen. Skywalker views. Always, I just hate LeBron. It doesn't have anything to do with me hating LeBron. I think anybody looking at this objectively can see that there's something fishy to this. You don't think it's weird at all that Dallas, less than a year off of going to the NBA Finals, traded their best player and they only shopped him to one person, one team. They didn't even try to shop him around to get any offers for him. They just offered him to one team, and then this is what they got in return for it. They didn't even get a good return on his trade. Like, all of that is very weird. I mean, the way the trade came out, it's all very strange. That's all I'm saying. And again, I knew that was going to come because people were like, "Oh, you just don't like LeBron." I don't like the guy, but I do think this is just strange. Like, there are things about this that just don't make sense. And I don't buy that it's just that they didn't want to give him the max deal. It's something about this that's off. I can't figure out what it is. It's just something about it that's really fishy. Let's see if we can see where Reginald is at before I try to move forward. But yeah, that's all I'm saying. I mean, the fact that they didn't have to trade that much, and then they still had enough to trade with Charlotte to also get a good center out of this too. Yeah, everything about it is very, very bizarre. But yeah, this is what it is. It's basketball, but yeah, I mean, it made for an entertaining trade deadline. All of the Jimmy drama and this, it made for a good few days of trades. The De'Aaron Fox thing is also very interesting. Him going to San Antonio could be a big move for them. I think that San Antonio was already heading in a trajectory where they could be a playoff team soon, but this definitely speeds up that process. Having a point guard as good as De'Aaron Fox on that team, and a future franchise player in Wemby, I think that's going to be a great team. If not by the end of this year, going into next year, that's going to be a team to watch. Reg's Wi-Fi says it's still not working. I wouldn't trade my guy. Coming back after all this trade deadline talking, Reg is still not here. Yeah, I would trade my guy, but it does look crazy. Here. Saying that we probably should reschedule because his Wi-Fi is not working. Here. When I try to give him a little while longer, but we're heading almost into the hour mark with this thing. At the very least, could go through Royal Rumble for you guys. I don't want you guys to be just sitting here watching me stall for time all this time. Royal Rumble is officially in the books. I like I said, reviewed the show with Iridian for this very channel right after Royal Rumble. So talked about Royal Rumble quite a bit. Also got to record with the homie DS from Ring the Bells. Had a guest in Lucci V on. Very, very funny. If you're not aware, Lucci V was Erica from Bad Girls Club. Very, very funny. If you have not checked out his review of the women's Royal Rumble match, very, very funny stuff. Here. Bear with me just a second. I'm trying to spin a few plates at once, guys. I doubt very seriously we're gonna get Will on the phone to jump on the stream with Royal Rumble right across. Yeah, hey Will, what do you think about Jey Uso winning the Royal Rumble match? Okay. Yeah, well, still hang with us just a second. All right. I mean, the Royal Rumble was, it was pretty much what I expected out of this card. I think that for it to be the amount of time it was for 4 matches. Okay. Sorry. Yeah, but for the amount of time it was for 4 matches, I thought that it was a solid show. I thought opening with the women's match was fine. I thought the women's match, it wasn't as good as some of the other women's rumbles. I think that the women's rumbles before have outperformed the men. This one, it wasn't as good. I think some of the surprises here were great. I think there were moments in this that were a lot of fun. Jordan Grace, again, had a great moment here. Shout out to Roxanne coming out. She had a great moment here, had a great showing. Ended up being the Iron Woman for the women. Ivy Niles getting the double German was also dope. There were so many other moments in this thing that ended up making it a solid match. But I think where it really broke down for me is when they had that big mass elimination at one point where all the women were on the apron and then Nia just pushed them out. WWE keeps doing this thing with the Rumbles lately where it kind of feels like they're booking for stats. And you can see like this was one of those, hey, well, Nia's going to get the most Royal Rumble eliminations for the night. And so, this is the way to get there. And it felt very forced and it didn't look good. It also took, yeah, it's just me. It didn't look good, but then it took some of the more interesting players off the board heading into the Final Four. And I think where the men's Rumble shined is that you had the suspense of the Final Four and you had such good interactions down the stretch because I mean, the Rumble usually goes in like acts. Like there's the excitement of all the entrances, and then once the eliminations start happening, and we get to the final 4, 6 guys or women, that's when the match really starts to pick up. That's when you get the best iterations out of it. But I thought we were kind of robbed of some of the best matchups in this because they took so many women off of the stage with that big mass elimination. And then, like I said, it just didn't even look good. It didn't look cool. It just looked like it just walked up and pushed a bunch of people out at the same time. But other than that, it was a pretty solid match. Charlotte winning was about as divisive as you would think. Can't say that I'm surprised. I think that they continue to learn the wrong lesson with Charlotte at times. I think people want to see them. It's not that people don't want to see Charlotte. I just think that people want to see them do something different with Charlotte. They've been doing the same thing of bringing her back and she wins and gets a title shot, or she comes straight back and gets thrown right in the title picture. There's no journey. There's no story there. It just always feels the same, and I think that's what people are kind of tired of. I did feel a little bad for Charlotte coming out on the following Raw and attempting to bare her soul and talk about her time away and this injury, because this is like the worst injury she's ever sustained in her career, and there was a lot of uncertainty for it. And so for her to come out and try to tell Cleveland how hard this was for her, and they were not having it, they immediately booed her. Felt really bad for her, but it is what it is. I don't think it was a good choice for her to cut that promo right after winning the Rumble, because it was such a polarizing outcome. I think if she had cut that promo, or if that was used for a video package or something before, it would have been fine. But trying to cut that promo right after people were not happy with her winning the Rumble, not a good choice. Not a good choice in my opinion. And I think unfortunately she had to take the brunt of some unfair reactions to it. We still don't have Reg back, and it seems like we're probably just going to reschedule and give you guys a second episode tomorrow. I think at best I can just at least run down the rest of this Rumble card for you guys, at least before I get out of here. I don't want to just... Yeah, I feel bad. I don't want to just leave you guys hanging with nothing. So, as always, appreciate you guys for tuning in with us first thing on Saturdays. Appreciate you guys making us a part of your Saturdays. There's been times for me where everything in my life hasn't been going the best, but this has been a constant for me, and being able to just go, oh, well, I know that this is happening every Saturday. I know that I can just bury my head in working on this and trying to make this podcast the best thing that I do, and have fun recording with my friends. It's been very necessary in my life. I needed it in several points. So again, very much appreciate you guys pulling up. The 2 out of 3 falls match was kind of a mixed bag. I think this is such a great matchup in Motor City Machine Guns and DIY, but the first 2 falls kind of flew by so quickly that it was kind of like, why are you rushing this thing? It's only 4 matches on this card. Just give us a match. Just slow this thing down and give us a great match out of 2 really good tag teams. And I thought the match really picked up after the second fall, and then once it started to get good, it ended, and then we got the dusty finish that WWE likes to do, sending somebody out there in a mask and a hoodie to interfere, and that's how DIY retained. Wasn't the biggest fan of this finish. I thought the stuff with the Street Profits turning heel was great. I enjoyed that part of it, but other than that, finish wasn't that great. But I thought that they started to get a good match out of this towards the end of it, and I did end up enjoying it all around. I just wish that they hadn't rushed through the first 2 falls, and we actually got more time with this match. I thought the Kevin Owens Cody match was very good. Very gruesome spots in this. Some of those bumps that Kevin Owens took were absolutely disgusting. Cody came out of this limping. I don't know if other people noticed that last night. Definitely looked like he was limping. I'm hoping that he's just working and there's nothing to this, but definitely was a noticeable limp. But this match was really good. Cody has had a few of these one-on-one ladder matches, and this was, I thought, very, very good. To me, one of my favorite matches of the night. I thought the finish was nasty. I thought that it sold the story they've been telling so far of Cody telling him all the way back in the first match, like, yeah, you had me. I was milking this knee injury, and because you were still trying to be my friend and you didn't just put me away. I love that they went back to that, and they played into some of the stuff from the Cody and Punk promo from the Monday before. I thought all of this played out really well. The Men's Rumble, I thought, was very good. I think this was one of the best Men's Rumbles we've seen in the past few years. I thought that it was a very well-worked match. I think having somebody in Jey Uso that a lot of people didn't expect to win, I thought that worked for this. I wasn't the biggest fan of the outcome, to be honest with you, but I think that this was such a great moment for Jey Uso. I think he deserves this. I'm glad that there are fans that are really enjoying this, and every year it kind of feels like people are like, don't just give this to a part-timer, or don't just put this on somebody that's established already. Use this to make somebody. And I mean, you can make an argument that this is going to be a moment that makes him. Now at this point, they've got to strike while the iron is hot with Jey. They've got to put the belt on him. So we'll see. I think there's no way you can't come out of this and not put the belt on him. I think you're doing him a complete disservice if you don't. Other than that, I really enjoyed the Men's Rumble. I enjoyed the Men's Rumble a lot more than I expected to. I thought Braun Breaker continues to be a standout in these things. He was fantastic last year. He was great this year. You know, maybe, just maybe, we don't need to see that many other people doing spears anymore, because they're not throwing spears like that guy. That spear he hit Roman with was incredible. The I Show Speed spot, I rolled my eyes at it initially when he came out, but it ended up being very, very funny. Braun murdered this guy on pay-per-view, and I think that it did exactly what it needed to do. It was very funny. The WWE got all of the big views off of it. They got to tout their big numbers off of it. So I think it worked out in the long run. Again, I think you probably could have used that spot for somebody else, but other than that, I really enjoyed it. I thought the Joe Hendry thing was nuts. We've come on this show more than once and said that this guy is out of here. Joe Hendry is out of here, guys. That sustained pop for him was just unreal. I mean, Alexa got the loudest pop for the women for sure, but I was so surprised that Joe Hendry got the loudest response, I think, out of anybody outside of John Cena, of course. But that sustained reaction for him and that crowd singing his theme song was unreal. I mean, Roman came out right afterward, and it felt like his pop paled in comparison to Joe Hendry's. That's how loud that crowd was for him. I couldn't believe it. And Roman's still very over as well, but that reaction for Hendry was out of this world, man. I could not believe that. And they were not happy when they kicked Joe Hendry out. They were not happy with Roman at all. He got booed, which tells you everything here. Yeah, I think across the board, like all of the stuff, once this broke down and we got to the interactions between Punk, Roman, and Rollins, I thought that the match got very good. I thought that exchange between the three of them, the way that Roman and Rollins ended up getting eliminated, was very good. The Punk stuff with them afterwards, my guy, man. My guy finally getting his revenge. I've been saying for almost 3 years now, he's been owed a rematch. He's been owed a rematch since the Royal Rumble in 2022. And I love that Roman is outside the ring, basically chewing Punk out like, what are you doing? How could you do this to me? We were just allies, which makes absolutely no sense, Roman. It's every man for themselves in a Royal Rumble match. So, of course, he wasn't going to help you. But he is just like going in on this guy. And then out of nowhere, he just gets absolutely planted with this curb stomp. Probably one of the nastiest curb stomps I've seen in a long time. Absolutely caved this man's head in with this curb stomp. It looked disgusting. Yeah, I'm seeing other people say in the chat. I was not a big fan of the way Carmelo was used in this Rumble either. I think that they're doing Melo a big disservice with the way that they're booking him in this match. And I didn't like what they did with him on SmackDown either. I think when you saw Tozawa, because the way they used Tozawa, I thought, okay, well, he's obviously going to get a win here. He's probably just going to squash Tozawa. But then they made it a competitive match. If they had put Tozawa against anybody else, I don't think it would have been anywhere near as competitive. It probably would have been just like a quick, let Tozawa get some spots in, and then it would have ended in a few minutes. I don't get it. I don't get what they're doing with Melo. But yeah, the Rollins stuff afterwards, after he stomped him out, then he jumps on Punk and they're arguing. Then he proceeds to curb stomp this guy again on the ring steps. Really, really good exchange. It sure seems like my agenda is working, guys. And I think this is probably where I'm going to end this. It's probably a good place for me to end it. But my agenda for all these 3 years, all the way back when this was a 3-man podcast, I've been telling you guys, Rollins versus Roman should be the WrestleMania match. It feels like we're finally there, guys. I don't know if they're going to pull the trigger on this. I get the feeling that it could end up being a triple threat match that's been reported. I also wouldn't be surprised if it ends up Roman versus Punk. That exchange between Rollins and Roman in the match, buddy, it's time. We gotta do it. Every time people say that this feud is cold and they can't go back, every time these two interact, they make magic. They had those few SmackDowns before Royal Rumble in 2022, and it ended up being the best match on that show. Not a very good Royal Rumble, but ended up being the best match on that show. All the stuff from their interactions during the WrestleMania build last year, also excellent. But this stuff, man, book the match, man. Book the match. I don't really feel good about running out of here and hitting the bombs in excitement for us potentially getting this match that I've been begging them to do. So I will wait until we hit you guys with another episode. But, man, appreciate you guys' patience with us. I just wanted to at least run down the Royal Rumble card to give you guys something. Super Bowl Sunday is ahead of us. Let me know in the chat who you guys are rooting for. I know a lot of people are not excited about the Chiefs potentially winning a third championship, but I kind of feel like Mahomes is going to pull this out. And personally, that's my pick to win. I think Mahomes is going to win this, but the Eagles have been great. It has been a lot of fun watching Gilly at the time of his life supporting the Eagles, turning into dancing Homer in front of our eyes. That has been a lot of fun to watch. But yeah, I'm already seeing a lot of people saying, go Eagles, fly, go Birds, anti-Chiefs over here, Tax Baker says. Yeah, a lot of people are not happy with the Chiefs continually winning. They seem to always get all of the right calls at the right times. They're just in that spot where if you win too much, people don't want to keep seeing you win, man. Yeah, a lot of go Birds, go Eagles in the chat. We have some more Humper chats. I don't want to read all of them because I believe we're going to try and come back and give you guys an episode tomorrow. So I will hold off on some of these for tomorrow. And if we don't get back to you tomorrow, stay tuned. I'll let you guys know what's going on. But again, appreciate all the support. Appreciate everybody that has subscribed to the YouTube channel. It is continued to grow a lot faster than I expected it to. Just wow, we're not even a month old in our YouTube channel, and people are already flocking to this thing. If you're not subscribed yet, youtube.com / @Grapsody. Hit us with a subscribe. Also, follow us on the Blue Skies. Follow us on Twitter. I'm still here trying to respond to people on Twitter every now and then, but not the most fun app to be on anymore. But yeah, appreciate you guys hanging in. Sorry that this ended up not being the best stream, but gonna try and get back to you guys tomorrow. Appreciate all of the positive feedback on the DNA interview. I was very proud of how that interview came out. Was one of the first things when I talked about clipping things and putting it on our channel. I wanted to make it easier to find that interview because, I mean, for me and Reg as a duo, I thought that was one of the coolest things we've gotten to do. And, you know, we're both rap and battle rap fans, so was very excited to be able to get that one. I'm trying to get another interview in the works. I saw someone ask earlier. I did see the Fantastic Four trailer. Looks good so far. I think this is the best Ben Grimm we've seen on film. That makes me excited. Getting to see a comic accurate Galactus, excited about that. But we got a lot of comic book stuff in the can. Invincible is back. I watched the first 2 episodes that dropped yesterday. Both are very good so far. I started the 3rd episode, but I didn't finish it. The new Spider-Man show is also very good. Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man is excellent. I know some people are going to be upset with some of the changes, but really good show. Shout out to Big E that is doing some voice work on it. Shout out to Jeff Trammell, who is the head writer on there. But yeah, I am going to slink out of here, unfortunately, on you guys. Stay tuned. I'm going to try and get you guys some news on a full episode. Again, sorry, technical difficulties, but appreciate you guys for pulling up. This has been Phil Lindsay of Grapsody. Reg is somewhere in the streets of San Francisco. We'll try and be back with you as a duo. And yeah, enormous. I will be checking out Captain America next weekend. Very excited for that. But I'll see you guys when I see you. Stay tuned. This has been Grapsody. I am out of here.